So you have to set your wedge. You can see that these have mushroomed a bit, and just watch yourself because sometimes wedges will fly, but I love that sound. So I started out with wedges, and that worked out pretty well. Alder's nice. Fir is not so friendly. It takes some work and get to sweating. The maul works better. It's a wedge on a sledge. Whoa. So sometimes they can say hello to the neighbors.
Should we get out of here?
Nope, you're okay. So that works pretty good. So this works better than the maul, but sometimes you need the maul and the wedges too. If you have power, actually I had to use, we cut down a big Doug fir and had to split it in order to even use it on a splitter. So there's gas splitters, but I don't really use a splitter that much, and so I got an electric splitter, and it works out pretty well, especially for bigger stuff that doesn't split nicely. So the difference between a gas splitter and an electric splitter, one is going to be the tonnage that it's rated for. This one's a 6.5 ton gas, typically is a much higher tonnage. It's going to just like crush through anything. You have to be careful with splitters because if they're under a lot of tension, the wood can pop away and it can pop you. One reason why this is back here is the wood's not going to jump at you as likely. But for what I've done so far, this has been pretty adequate for all the splitting that I've done. The big rounds, I had to get them small enough so I could actually handle them and get them onto the splitter. This actually has a stand, so you can do it at this height. But then if you have big rounds, which is what I would be doing with it, you gotta lift things up there. So if you're doing stove wood, that would be handy. This has a gauge on it, or you can set how far it goes back and forth, so you don't have to wait as long for it to retract. So it's a little bit slow in that regard. But one thing I like about it too is it's quiet. It's very quiet. A gas splitter is a little noisy, although the gas splitter that I used was a high tonnage, and I split probably a full load of logs on less than a tank of gas, and on idle almost the entire time. So it was a hydraulic splitter. I didn't have it ramped up. If I had it like rip roaring, it would have gone through more gas, and it was way more splitter than I needed to do what I was doing. So this has kind of a two-hand action, which is a little inconvenient sometimes. Sometimes you have to hold your log up with your leg or whatever, but there's a green button for pushing it, starting it, the motor, activating it. And then I like to get it in there set and stop it so it doesn't have to take all the time to get all the way back. Oops, that just broke off. Okay, well. So that's what they can do sometimes, is they can do that pop. And you wouldn't have to split it. So your kids could do that, really, because it's easy just to sit there and watch it happen. as opposed to flipping them all. So what I would do is the big rounds that maybe I would need to use a wedge on, I would use on this if I could, and then get it to smaller size and then just use the hand maul. But if you don't feel comfortable with a hand maul, then you could do it all with this. It's just a little bit slower.
To be aware of new videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to the Preparing for the Time of Trouble channel. For more free videos and downloadable audio podcasts, as well as handouts, go to www.preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com. Topic categories include recordings of live seminar presentations, country living, sustainable gardening, homestead remedies, how to be self-sufficient when the grid goes down, wild edible and medicinal plants, hydrotherapy, and end-time Bible prophecies. To take advantage of these free resources, go to preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com.